What's up, everybody? My name is Paddock, and today I'm going to show you how to make everything that you play sound a whole lot better by using goal notes. If you follow my tutorials on YouTube or you are a member of my saxophone school, you know that I love to talk about goal notes. Goal notes are a really easy concept that can have a huge impact on the way you play. So the idea behind goal notes is bringing out the most important notes in a musical line. Now, we do have articulations that tell you exactly what to do when it comes to bringing out notes, but when we're talking about goal notes, oftentimes we're talking about notes that are just part of an eighth note phrase that we need to lean into a little bit to give the phrase more direction. So there's really no type of articulation mark that we can put on a goal note that says lean into it and play it a little stronger, but don't necessarily accent it. So today I'm going to break down a line that is made up entirely of eighth notes and show you how to recognize goal notes and how to bring them out. I'm going to start off by playing this phrase with no goal notes, so I'm going to play all of these eighth notes equally important. That was really tough to do. It actually took me like 5 times to get it right without using goal notes. I use goal notes so often that it's a natural part of my playing, so it's pretty hard not to do it. I love the direction that it gives to my jazz and bebop lines. So I'm going to play this phrase one more time. This time I'm going to add in the goal notes, and then I'm going to break down exactly what I'm doing. As you can hear, when I use the goal notes, the phrase has a lot more direction. There's a lot more stuff going on, and it just sounds a whole lot better. So let's break this thing down and talk about the goal notes. So the first thing I'm going to do is bring out the B on beat 1 of the first full measure. And I'm going to do that because there is a direction change. When you have a direction change, you want to do something to bring out this direction change. So I'm going to use that B as my goal note. And all that means is I'm going to lean into it a little bit. I'm not going to necessarily accent it. I'm just going to give it a little bit more weight. Did you hear that? I just made it a little bit stronger. If I played it regular, it doesn't sound bad like that. It just sounds better when I play the B a little bit stronger. Now we have another direction change note in the second measure. You can see that that line goes down and goes back up. But if I bring that one out as a goal note, it sounds a little funny. It just doesn't quite sound right. So what I want to do there is kind of the opposite of a goal note, but it's also going to add some emphasis to it. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to pull that back. So I'm going to get a little bit softer. So there's 2 ways that you can make something sound more important. One is to play it louder, and the other is to play it softer. Now, the C sharp and the A, which is where I'm going to do the pullback, it's not necessarily going to sound more important when I do that, but you're going to hear the phrase breathe a lot more. Did you hear how when I did that pullback, you could hear the energy and the direction of that phrase change? From there, in the third measure, I'm going to bring out the C and the B. The C and B belong to each other. It's kind of like the C is ricocheting into the B. The C belongs to the B, so I'm bringing both of those notes out. The B is pretty important because we have chromatic notes running into it, and it is the top of the chromatic note, and we're doing a little bit of a direction change. So if I don't bring those out, they kind of want to come out no matter what I do, even if I just play them normal without trying to bring out goal notes. But when I lean into those goal notes, it sounds a whole lot better. If you're watching this video, I'm guessing that you are trying to get a whole lot better at jazz style. If that is the case, I'd like to invite you to check out the Paddock Sax School. I have an entire course dedicated to jazz style, where I break down every note of every phrase that we play and teach you exactly how to play the unwritten rules of jazz articulation, how to find your goal notes, and how to make everything that you play in a jazz style sound a whole lot better. If you'd like to check out my sax school, I'll put a link in the video description. From there, we have a large interval jump down to that A. So when you have a large interval jump like that, you really don't have a choice but to bring that note out, because if you don't, it won't come out or it won't sound good. So when you have a large interval jump down like that, oftentimes you're going to use that as a goal note. If you don't use it as a goal note, that means that note belongs to another note and you're going to ghost it. In this case, it is a goal note, so we're going to bring out that A. You can hear there's a whole bunch of stuff going on in that measure. So the line goes up and then down. So I'm bringing out all of that stuff. So I'm bringing out the A at the bottom, the G at the top, and then I'm bringing out that F sharp on beat 1 of measure 6. And you can hear I'm also pulling stuff back. I'm not just making some notes louder, I'm pulling back some notes so that the ones that I want to stick out more seem louder. Take a listen from the beginning. So you can really hear how the G and the F sharp belong to each other also. Now, the next note I'm bringing out is the F sharp. I'm not bringing out the direction change in measure 6, because if I do that every single time, it starts to sound a little hokey. So as you're bringing out goal notes and you're figuring out what your goal notes are, you kind of have to listen to what's going on and make sure you're not bringing out so much stuff that everything is a goal note, but enough stuff that your lines have a lot more direction. So if I brought out that G sharp in measure 6, it wouldn't sound good at all. It's just too much. We don't want everything to sound important, otherwise we don't have goal notes. So let's talk about measure 6. We have a chord change in the middle of the measure. So we go from the B7 to the B flat 7. So the F sharp on beat 1, that's pretty standard that's going to come out. The B flat on beat 4, that's going to come out because it's the high note. And the A on beat 1 is going to come out because it's the last note. So now we have to figure out what we need to do between this F sharp and the F. I personally like the way it sounds when I bring out the F sharp, but when it comes to goal notes and articulations in general, it is up to your own personal preference. So there's no one 100% correct way when you're adding in your own articulations. It all comes down to what you think sounds good. So this is what it would sound like if I brought the F out. Let me do it again, a little bit cleaner. So when I do that, I have to lay off of the F sharp a little bit. I can't tongue it. If I bring out the F, I can't tongue the F sharp. I have to slur into the F sharp and bring out the F. That sounds fine. I'm going to speed it up. That doesn't feel super natural to me when I play it, but if I heard someone play that, I would think it sounded good. This is the way I would play it, bringing out the F sharp. To me, the F sharp sounds a lot better, but the idea behind this video is not to tell you exactly where a goal note should go or dictate exactly when to use a goal note. It's to open your ears and your eyes and your imagination to using these goal notes to make your bebop and jazz lines sound a whole lot better and give them a lot more direction. So when it comes to these goal notes and when it comes to articulation in general, it's completely subjective, and that means it's up to you and what sounds good to you. There are going to be some things that are pretty obvious, and then there are going to be some things that are completely up to your taste in the way the music sounds. So now that we've broken this phrase down measure by measure, I'm going to play it through one more time. Thanks for taking the time to check out this video. If you'd like to dive deeper into my saxophone world, then please check out the Scott Paddock Sax School.